Does procrastination mean you're lazy? I'm going to urge you to look at your delays, your hesitation in a completely different way. Hey, it's Dean Graziosi. So good to have you on this walk today. Listen, if you're listening to me on a podcast, this is not going to be the perfect audio. There's trucks going by, there's birds chirping. I might even pass someone who says yes. So if non-perfect studio audios bug you, then this might not be for you. But if you're looking for a strong message to hit your heart from someone who hopefully says it real and raw, who started with nothing and is blessed to start over 15 companies and have more success than ever before in my life, go from dyslexia to multiple New York Times best-selling books and partnering with my heroes, and been blessed to make an impact on this world, at least I believe so, then this is the right place for you. So what's up? Hey, it's Dean Graziosi. Welcome on this walk. Again, a little noisy, but I want to talk about procrastination. It's one of the biggest questions asked. How do I stop procrastinating? How do I stop being lazy? How do I finally go after my dreams? And I think we look at procrastination completely wrong. I think we beat ourselves up so much for not being where we're meant to be, or we believe we're meant to be. I mean, let's just be honest. How many of you listening or watching right now have looked in the mirror at one time in your life and thought to yourself, wow, I thought I'd be further ahead by now? Well, if you have, you're not alone. We've all thought that. So how do you get the momentum? Well, let's break procrastination down into some buckets. Are you really lazy? I doubt it. I bet you've done amazing things in your life. I bet if you're a parent, if you're a loved one, a husband, a wife, a partner, a team member, you've done things that prove that you're not a procrastinator. It proves that you're not lazy. There's just a few things missing. One is we get stuck in our heads. We get a story, a loop in our head that when it's time to do something new, something different, I'm going to ask you to judge right now. I'd bet to say the areas of life where you're procrastinating is the areas where you have some fear, some uncertainty. You've never done it before. You've never started your own business. You never did the marketing before. You never sold a digital product before. You've never asked people to give you money for a workshop, a mastermind, or something different. So you're confusing procrastination or laziness with fear. It is your subconscious. Listen, we're not running away from the saber-toothed tiger anymore. So our fear has manifested into other things. Your friends and family thinking you're crazy for trying something new, looking like a fool online, putting something for sale and it doesn't sell, going all in, quitting the job because it doesn't serve your soul, your heart, or the man or woman God meant you to be, and you go do it and you're afraid if it fails, look, how will I look? That fear internally is as scary to the subconscious mind as running away from the saber-toothed tiger or whatever we used to run from, right? So let's first take procrastination and let's replace that with the word fear, uncertainty. Especially in the world where it is today, uncertainty is at an all-time high. So fear, if it's just a millimeter enough in weight, it will tip the scales in a way where you feel paralyzed, where you're afraid to move forward. You take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and you just kind of coast. You're waiting for this revelation. You're waiting for this magic wand to come down and say, now is the time, and then I'll go for it. Simultaneously, it looks like you're procrastinating when really you're just waiting for it not to be scary. Little hint. There's never a time it's not scary. It's always scary. But let me ask you something. Is leaving your life exactly the way it is right now scary? Really think about that question. Is leaving your life exactly the way it is right now scary? Hell yes, it is. Who wants to be the same person today that you will be in 5 or 10 years? Not you, or you wouldn't be listening to me or watching me. You'd be binging on Netflix or something that's way more fun and entertaining than me walking and talking to this camera, right? So, maybe something you never heard before. Lesson number 1 today on killing procrastination. Identify what you're afraid of. Identify what you're avoiding. Identify what you failed at before and it's standing in your way like the guard at the gate stopping you from your next level. I'd love to say this in a more elegant way, but you need to slay that dragon. You need to slay that dragon. You need to realize that if you tried and failed, you have to write down all the things that could go wrong and realize none of them are life-threatening. You're not going to go to jail. Please don't be doing anything illegal. You're not going to go to jail. Your friends, real friends, are not going to leave you. They're not going to make fun of you. And you have to realize that this fear, this thing, this hesitation, this uncomfortableness that you've built up is a facade. It's a lie. It's your subconscious telling you a story. And aren't stories truly the thing that drives our lives? If we think we're not good enough, we're not. If we think we're insecure, we are. If we think it won't work or we're too old or live in the wrong area or people don't support us, and if we think that, that's what we become. Entrepreneurs, we make stuff up and then we make it real. If you're afraid and you don't move forward, you'll never make it real and it'll always be something that eludes you. And it's gonna get noisy up here in a few minutes. So I told you we're on a walk, there's a little construction going on, but it's the message I wanna share with you today. If you keep allowing it to elude you, to wait to where it's comfortable, to wait to feel that the runway is greased and it's puppies and rainbows and butterflies and everything's perfect, you're delusional. It's always scary. Anything new becomes something we're afraid of. And that's what we have to learn to lean into and love, because listen, at the end of our lives, when you get a chance to talk to your maker and she says, how'd you do? How was life? Do you want to say, well, I was going to go for it, but I was afraid my family would think I was crazy. I was going to go for it, but I was a little old. I was going to go for it, but what if no one bought from me, looked at me? What if I got in that relationship and it ended, or he cheated, or she said no? Could you imagine how you'd feel like, wow, that was kind of dumb. I didn't go for true love because I was afraid it would hurt. I didn't go for my own business and making more money because I was afraid it wouldn't work out or my friends would look at me silly. Do you know how bad you would wish for a do-over? How bad you wish it could start fresh? And you don't get a second start. You don't get a second chance. At least that's the way I look at it. I look at it like I got one shot at this. I also want you to know that when I say this, I'm not saying it like I was born fearless and never questioned myself, or never had imposter syndrome, or never was afraid of failing. But the more I failed, the more things went sideways. I went broke twice in my life. I've been through a divorce. I've made mistakes as a parent. I've made mistakes as a leader and had someone quit that shouldn't have. All those things has happened to me. And in the moment, I thought it was the end. How am I going to get through it? And in retrospect, God is good, or whatever your beliefs are. I needed every one of those lessons to build the grit, the strength, the stamina to gain the success that I crave and want for myself and my family. And how do you impact the world? You first got to make the impact in your home, right? How do we change the economy in the world? Change the economy in your house. How do you change the global conversation? Change the conversation in your home. That's where it all starts. But none of that starts if you feel you're a procrastinator. It's not that you're a procrastinator. In most cases, you're afraid. Okay, I said it. You're just afraid. That's okay. You're human. But face that fear. Slay that dragon. Take the action. Check that story in your head that's telling you all these things that'll go wrong, and find a new story that empowers you to be that best next level of yourself. So number one, procrastination is usually the wrapper. And when you take the wrapper off, you're really just afraid. Congratulations for being human. Face your fears, because your next level lives on the other side of the thing that you fear. Procrastination will start to die, start to burn off when you realize that you need to face your fears. And the second part I wanted to share on procrastination today, usually, we don't have a big enough, compelling future that drives us. Yes, we have goals. Set your goals bigger, but here's the secret. You ready? Look at your goals every single day. Not once in January or once when you set them. Set them. Look at your goals every day. And here's what you got to do with them. You have to feel the emotion. Hear me right now. Hear me. You have to feel the emotion of what it will be like when you reach those goals. Every day, I want to start my own business. I want to start selling a digital product online. I want to work from my computer. I want to find true love in my life that fills my heart and my soul, that I'm connected with someone. I want to get in the best shape of my life so I can run around with my children, my grandchildren, my future children, whatever it is. Set the goals. Goals are great, but they don't work until you attach an emotion. When you achieve that goal of financial independence, love, whatever it is, what emotions will you have? And write those down and feel them. Here's the one no one has the nerve to do. Also, write down the emotions and the feelings you have when you don't do it. When you continue to hesitate. When you continue to sit on the sidelines. How will it feel in 5 years from now or 10 years from now when you don't achieve any of them? When you're in the same exact spot. Feel those emotions. Let them sink in. How does that feel? Not so good, right? So, maybe that's the most unusual share or teaching process on procrastination you've ever heard in your life. That's okay. I don't claim to be like everyone else. I'm telling you, procrastination is usually wrapped in two things. Procrastination is the wrapper, I should say, hiding what you're afraid of. Failure, insecurities, not good enough. And secondly, you don't have a compelling enough future and you haven't thought of the whole process or the feeling it will be, what will it feel like when you don't reach your goals, when you stay exactly where you are, where you end your life, at the end of your life, you have a pile of regret for not going after it. That's why I took you on a walk with me today. Why have regret in the end when you can go for it today? I'm Dean Graziosi. Thank you for spending this time with me. Again, if you're listening to podcast, it was noisy. It's not the most perfect audio. It's on my phone, but I hope the message is what matters to you. Take care. Talk to you next week.